EA Sports. It's in the game.
What are you gonna do?
Sims.
You gonna play some Sims, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Dun 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 dun.
EA Sports and the PGA Tour proudly present the season-long race for the FedEx Cup. Today, it's live final round coverage of the Boston Championship. Well, this looks good.
Certainly is.
These wings have held up all day long, definitely playing a part in the shot making we're seeing out there today. Has 80 yards left. Frank, what's so compelling about rivalries in sports is that athletes need each other if they're going to go to great heights. Joe Frazier needed Muhammad Ali to solidify his legend. Jack Nicklaus probably needed Arnold Palmer to go to a place that he had not been. And I think that's true across the board as we look at rivalries in sports.
I think it defines careers, Rich. It's not until those players retire that they realized how important it was to have that foe. You know, so often we're living in the present like we are now with Tiger Woods and Rory McIlroy. And it's not for years to come that we'll realize the sport wouldn't have been the same with one without the other.
Frank, you hate to miss it from that distance.
More than a setback there.
Settles in over the putt. Nothing wrong with that par putt. Frank, they renovated the par 5 second back in 2010. What'd they do to the hole, and how does it play now?
Well, they changed the green, especially the left side. There's a huge mound there now. It's still a driver off the tee, but before you could bail out on the left side, you can't bail out anymore. It's a devilish of a chip over that mound.
Those chocolate drop mounds give the course a really nice look.
Yeah, they just pop. And you can see them, and you know that they're problematic. There's something about a well-hit shot.
Good contact, good result. Vijay Singh, Charlie Hoffman, and Big Henrik Stenson, they all have one thing in common. They all tied for the low tournament score at TPC Boston, 22 under.
And they're all good. Yeah, this is a golf course that obviously gives in to the longer hitters. And if there's just a little bit of sting taken out of the greens, then these long hitters have a huge advantage. Should be safely on deck. It was almost like that's what he wanted to do, but why would you want it to run over the back?
Third shot, looking for a good one. So on the putting surface, and taking a good look now at this birdie putt here at the second. Not a gimme, but well within his range. Frank, we we have said it over and over. Another birdie. Frank, you've talked about this sort of New England feel they gave this golf course when they remodeled it. This is a pretty good example here at the third hole.
Yeah, that stone wall behind just sort of makes the golf course look like it's been there forever. They have tweaked the green a little bit on that left side, created a little bit of a ridge. You can sort of play the ball off that if you know where you're going.
Just in the first cut of rough, not a bad lie. The only issue is he might get a jumper here. Coming out of the rough and right up next to the hole. And getting ready for the putt. Wow, he got robbed, Frank.
No, it's like kissing your mother-in-law.
Just a tap in to finish the hole. That's a bogey, but still in the lead.
We start to see shots in hand really valuable.
And now back over to the fourth. It's been solid for our featured golfer to this point, but will it be good enough, Frank?
Well, solid's always good, no question about that, especially in today's professional golf, but it takes brilliance to win the day.
That's an absolute tracer right there. In the fairway and well over 320 yards. Frank, really good chance from this position to make a birdie.
Yeah, really the only thing he's looking at right now is the flag. This is a green light special.
Playing this par 4, still not on the green after that second shot.
But still not done. A good third shot, maybe get away here with par.
Frank, how about that?
Oh, can you believe that, too? I mean, could have hit the flag and bounced away instead, straight in. Amazing shot, and really deserves it.
Frank, now a beefed-up par 4. This is the fifth, 466 yards long.
Prettiest hole on the golf course. A nice, gentle dogleg left. There's a bunker down the left side about 300 yards, and then there's a run out at 350. Oh, that's fine.
That is massive off the tee.
Meters, yards, I don't care how you measure that. That's got to be what? 300 meters, 325 yards, something like that. Well, there's a big green, and they're going to use every inch of it.
He's making the game look very simple right now. See it, hit it, and he's got it right on track. Little redemption chance here. Had bogey yesterday. Great shot. Get the birdie. This is one of the most challenging holes on the golf course, Frank. 465-yard par 4 sixth.
Yeah, just hit your tee shot in between those two trees. You don't have to be too aggressive. You really do have to hit this ball in the fairway because that green is tucked very close to the water.
Now it's right in his wheelhouse. Good position where he can attack the pin.
Yeah, he has all those options now. With that ball sitting up, you can bring it in high, you can bring it in low. The choice is yours.
Put a birdie on the card here yesterday, don't forget. He really likes this hole. Made birdie yesterday. Can he do it again today? He's made it. Frankie, just love the variety of holes here at TPC Boston. Now we get to the seventh. It's a 600-yard par 5.
It looks straight away, but the problem is if you don't hit a good tee shot, then you really have to be aware of that cross bunker. That is one place you don't want to go with your second shot. I tell you, there's long and long, and that, with a little bit of breeze behind, is long.
He rode the wind there to payday. He's going to have a good look coming up. Oh, no, look out, Frank. I think he flushed that one.
Oh, this is going, gone. That just came out blazing. As soon as it hit the green, it was never going to stop.
Ends up in the first cut, and he'll have a pretty good look at the whole location from here.
God.
Well, that's a smart shot. A lot of people would have tried to be a little more heroic from there, but there was no need.
Back on the fairway, back in play. That is professional with a capital P right there.
That's stealing.
Coming off the long par 5-7, now a par 3, 213 yards. What's the 8th hole all about?
Another hole that picks with the same theme. Really want to fly this nice and high. That narrow part at the front of the green really is to be avoided unless the flag is there.
Seems to like it. Looks like it's headed for the green. Superb shot.
Well, it's as good as it's going to get. There's going to be no worries about making that one.
Just an amazing display. The records continue to fall. Frank, I love a hot dog and a soda at the turn. How hard is it to take a giant bite out of this 9th hole? Looks tough.
It is. Everything sort of bends where those two bunkers are, and they're sort of 350 yards to get past that. And there's an annoying little bunker that's about 30 yards short of this green. So you have to be precise with both the first and the second shot.
Right where they were aiming, in the fairway. Frank, golf so often is a game of avoiding something. What do you want to stay away from here at the 9th?
You have to avoid that little pot bunker just short of this green. If the pin's at the back, it's fine. You can fly the ball into the middle of the green. But if the pin's on the front, just make sure you carry that little bunker.
That's an outstanding shot right there, and it sets up a really good look at birdie. Par yesterday, now for birdie. Continues to amaze. Yet another birdie, and what a day it's been. Setting up to start the back 9 here, and if it's anywhere near as good as the front 9, Frank, he'll be very happy with his score at the end of the day.
Yeah, the hardest thing right now is to just keep doing the same thing without focusing on the score. Rich, that tee shot there has shortened up this hole considerably. It's made a tough par 4 into, well, we'll see, but it looks like a very birdieable hole now.
You hit it right where you want. Now he has a good chance to attack that whole location. What a display of shot making this has been, Frank.
That incredible approach shot there. The easiest of birdies coming up.
Makes the putt for a birdie. 11th hole here at TPC Boston. Frank, this is a stout par 3 at 231 yards.
Plays a little bit uphill, and that big gaping bunker just short right. Have to avoid that.
Appears to be a smart shot, Frank.
Yeah, no problem here. That's going to fly all the way.
On the green in regulation. This hole's been good to him. Birdie yesterday, trying for another one today. Well, you couldn't ask for much more than that, except to make it. Just a couple of feet. Good putt. Moving on now to the 12th, and Frank, describe this hole for us.
Sneaky good par 4. It's long enough, you know, sort of that 450, 460 mark. Bends a little to the left. Really, you want to be in the middle of the fairway here, because that second shot with the green just tilting towards the hazard. One of the toughest second shots you have on the golf course.
How tough is this going to be now from the rough, Frank?
Oh, it's tough to say, Rich. I mean, so much is going to depend on that lie. I'm going to need a little bit of luck.
That's a bit offline in the rough. Frank, here we go again. Another shot from the rough.
Yeah, let's see if he learned his lesson.
Frank, not close, but from that lie, not bad.
Oh, that's excellent. Seriously, given the conditions, Rich.
Getting set now over the putt. Beautiful roll on that one, right in the bottom. Back-to-back par 4s here at TPC Boston, set to tee off, Frank, at the 13th.
Nice big tee shot here. Once again, suits the long hitters. There's a little bit of a quarry that you've got to carry across.
Well, this one has a chance to be really good. Great lie. What a great shot. He has really hit it a long way. Frank, this is a position where a player is absolutely licking his chops here. Good chance to make a birdie.
Yeah, this is when this game just looks like fun. Bunkers don't seem to be in play. The only thing you're really looking at right now is just the flag.
Had a birdie here yesterday in their close. Great opportunity for another one. This for another birdie on this hole on the week. Oh, yeah, he's made it for a birdie. Frank, the 14th, this is a dogleg left, 495 yards. Another case where the driver will set everything up.
But you have to avoid those mounds on the left. They'll just snag your ball.
A great way to start a hole, nicely placed in the fairway. And now the second shot here at this par 5. Crucial eagle attempt on the way. Frank, I'm not saying he should pull out driver here, but this is a long putt.
Greens are fast, though. You never know. Good line, good pace. Might have a chance.
Ooh, that hurts. Always two components to the long lag putt. The speed, number one, and then the read. And missed out on that second part. See if he can go one better than yesterday when he made par. It's putt for birdie.
Well read.
All right, Frank, we're teed up at the 15th, and a lot to talk about with your caddy on this tee shot.
Yeah, which club, which line, series of bunkers down the left. That one short right doesn't really come into play. Another one, really, fairway first.
Pretty good drive here.
Another straight one.
Good strike, good lie, good chance to attack the pin. Has hit a lot of quality shots into these strong winds today. Mark of a good player. This one looks like it's headed right for the middle of the dance floor, Frank.
Rather nice shot, I would say.
So 24 feet after that approach shot, Frank.
Yeah, it's well, just outside the what you'd think very makeable distance.
That was a good run right there. Almost went in.
At least he's seen the line as it went past the hole. So just replicate that on the way back.
This one just requires a little bit of focus. Nothing wrong with that par putt. Moving on to 16 now. This is one where you sort of lick your chops, Frank, because it's pretty short, 161 yards. Where's the challenge here?
Where the fish go. That big lake on the left, that's the challenge.
Well, that's how you play the game, right there. Birdie try again here today. Had a nice birdie on this hole yesterday. Good roll. Frank, the 17th here at TPC Boston underwent quite a radical change.
Yeah, that renovation and that redesign that they did, it changed the character of the hole, but they still kept that big mound in the middle of the green. So that second shot is still punishing if you misjudge it.
And players nursing the lead, they might want to think about playing it safe down the right side, but if you're trying to make up some ground, you could try to fly the church pews that divide the fairway into two sections, and that would give you a nice short wedge in.
Yeah, give you a short wedge in, but really the risk, is it worth it?
Birdie try up next. Birdie chance here. Very long putt, though.
Got to be a little careful if it gets away on him.
On the way.
Oh, what a bonus.
Frank, the 18th here at TPC Boston has generated a lot of buzz through the years, hasn't it?
It has, and those changes have just made this finishing hole so much better. The fact that they've narrowed up the front of the green, they've made that left side more severe. Now you can't bail out on the left. If you do, it's an awful little pitch or even a putt up the hill.
The addition of that putt bunker, Frank, how has that changed the hole?
Well, if you stray off the tee or find one of those bunkers with your tee shot, you really have to be aware of exactly the distance that little pot bunker is away. Because if you just sort of whack it out of the bunker and lay it up there, you find the next bunker, then you're in trouble. This looks like it's going to find the target.
Just a case of the hole suiting the player's eye. Made the birdie yesterday, and he has a good chance to make another one today. Wow, I thought he made that. Oh, man.
Just pushed it.
Boy, that hurts. To win the Boston Championship. Just an amazing display. The records continue to fall. Just a tremendous week of golf. And that, my friend, is a winner right there.
Yeah, and he should be proud of himself, too. It took golf of the highest quality to beat this high-quality field, and that is something that you will remember for a long, long time.
Today's coverage brought to you by EA Sports and the PGA Tour. Rich Lerner alongside Frank Nobilo set to call all the action here at the Wells Fargo Championship. We are at Quail Hollow, and Frank, it is really one of the best courses on tour.
It is a great state of North Carolina where Donald Ross developed so many great courses. They're the sort of courses that we're used to seeing. But this is a relatively new golf course. First opened up in 1961, but it certainly fits in with the North Carolina landscape. Mature trees, holes well cut out, beautiful greens, and interesting finish.
How do you like that finishing stretch? They call it the Green Mile.
Some might think it's purgatory, but I think it's the perfect touch to a great golf course.
Just needs to keep it steady here over the putt. Needs a few more of those. That was a good birdie.
Yeah, this time that one gets him in the top 10.
Frank, a nice mix of opening holes here at Quail Hollow in the Wells Fargo Championship. Pretty short par 3 here at the second.
180-yard shot. We'll play more like 175 for the half a club downhill. There's much more green on that right side. If you're not too sure what club to hit, then you should stay away from that left side.
Well, that is an exceptional shot on the green and in position for a birdie.
Yeah, it's a formality now.
Frank, all of a sudden, another player to factor in on this leaderboard.
Yeah, and things are starting to tighten up right now. We'll see where the next move comes from.
This is a strong par 4, 452 yards, the third hole. It's a good challenge, Frank.
It is. Big sweeping dogleg left. Actually in a straight line. It's 315, 320 yards to run out. So if you hit the ball further than that, it's going to have to draw. Otherwise, you'll be hitting in the rough on the other side. Still a lengthy shot into there on a green that actually has 3 different levels.
Frank, on an uphill shot like this one, did you do anything differently in terms of your setup over the ball?
Yeah, I made sure the ball wasn't too far forward because on an uphill shot, there's always a struggle to get all your weight going forward.
Oh, can't hide the flagstick from that man. Frank, this would be a nice way to jumpstart the round.
Yeah, his momentum can quickly go in the right direction if he makes this.
That was a nice birdie, and no doubt he's feeling pretty good about his position on this leaderboard.
A series of good holes in a row has got him to this point.
And we pick up action at the 4th. Frank, you have to be impressed with what you've seen from the golfer so far.
It's rock solid. The ultimate of professional, doing exactly what you should be on a day like today. That's fine.
Frank, not surprisingly, Rory McIlroy owns the event record here, 21 under par. That came in 2015. He won by a touchdown by 7 shots. And then we all remember what he did here in 2010.
Yeah, remember the runner-up, which was Patrick Rogers. He shot 14 under. And that's won just about every other championship at this event. So it shows you the magnitude of Rory's victory. An artist needs a canvas. A golfer needs a golf course. For Rory McIlroy, Quail Hollow was the perfect landscape to show his skills.
Starting to make a nice move. Birdie and 4 under par for the tournament. Here we are at the par 5 fifth. It's 570 yards. Frank, this should be reachable for most players, don't you think?
Yeah, if you hit a good tee shot, especially with the draw, it will be. But the hardest part of this is judging that kick on the fairway that kicks the ball to the right. And it sort of turns at that awkward area at where the top of your tee shot range. That's where that dogleg is. Well, where this ball's going, there's no fairway there, only rough.
Second shot coming out of the rough here. Well, this one is offline just a bit. Look out. That one is going to end up in the rough. Just a bit offline and into the bunker. All right, so greenside bunker. What's he looking to do with this shot, Frank?
Well, really you have to look at the amount of green you got to play with. You don't have to try and fly the ball right by the flag. Allow it to run. Plus, if you can get it to run like a putt, you never know. It might just go in.
Frank, that reminds you of maybe what, the greatest bunker player of all time? You can see why this player has been compared to a young Rory McIlroy, featured golfer making birdie and now sitting comfortably inside that cut line. And this is looking really good. No problems there. Really good approach shot. And now, good look at birdie. Been pretty good all day from this distance, just trying to take care of business. So close.
And yet it still counts for another shot.
He'd settle for par here. Good chance here. Currently at 5 under par.
No, really, Rich, right now it's just a case of running out of holes. Pars are fine.
Frank, there's a lot to chew on here as you get to the tee at the 532-yard par 5/7.
In today's game, 530 plus change you think is incredibly short. And look at the trouble in front of you. Water all the way down the right side and around that right side of the green. Bunkers left. This is not for the faint of heart.
That is just a beautiful shot. Frank, here we are at another par 5. Second shot to the 7th. Is it time to go pedal to the metal?
Yeah, this is the shortest of the 4 par 5s, and this second shot has to be respected. Left obviously isn't ideal, but it's still better than letting the ball go to the right.
And another green in regulation. Not a gimme, but well within his range. Oh my goodness, he missed it. He missed the bunny. That's like missing a layup in basketball. This is for his birdie. This is a pretty good performance right here. 6 under for the tournament. Frank, in modern professional golf, we're seeing more and more drivable par 4s, like the 8th here at Quail Hollow, 350 yards. What do you think of this hole?
It's not a bad hole. Drivable, some might say, but the angle of the green means it's hard for that tee shot to keep on the green. But I think the reward for hitting a driver is try and sort of aim at that tree just left of the green. And the reason why is then you've got to pitch up the direction of the green. This is a really narrow green.
So the second of the par 4 goes begging, and now I'll have to rely on the short game.
Yeah, but a short game, as we all know, can redeem a lot of mistakes. See if he does it here.
And he's made the green. Well, you can see it there. Feels very good about what he's doing. That's a nice par putt. Stays at 6 under. Frank, this is a really good way to finish out the front side here at Quail Hollow. 495-yard par 4.
Yeah, it's the longest par 4 at Quail Hollow. Some say it might be the toughest. I'm not quite in that camp. And the reason why, that green slopes in from both sides, the left and the right. But you can see why good drivers have done well here, because there's a big reward for thumping a big, long, straight drive down here.
So from the rough back to the fairway, that's the right way to go.
Yeah, didn't take the bait, and at least now he's only going to play the price of a poor tee shot. Still got a good chance, though, getting away with par.
He'll take par and move on. Setting up to start the back 9 here, and if it's anywhere near as good as the front 9, Frank, he'll be very happy with his score at the end of the day.
Yeah, the hardest thing right now is to just keep doing the same thing without focusing on the score. Ah, nice.
Looks good. Frank, such an advantage when you can hit that far.
It's not fair.
Nice position, short grass, second shot. Appears to be what they call a commercial play, very solid. Well, hit the green, but certainly not close to the hole.
Oh, probably really give him a C for that shot.
So a long putt there and just didn't read it quite right. So a tester from 4 feet. Continuing to play well. -7 now after that putt. Here, Frank.
Oh, there's two really. That left bunker off the tee, it's about 265 yards to get it on the fairway, or 308 yards, 310 yards run out there. I've seen players just try and carry the bunker, sort of set up a short iron, and I've seen players like Rory McIlroy just try and blast a driver with a hook on it. Both strategies have worked.
Well, this looks good.
Certainly is. There's always the advantage of hitting it further than most, Rich, and straighter than most. When you put the two together, it's just straight up a head start.
Early part of this second nine, a good approach shot. Now, pretty good chance for birdie. Standing over this putt, concentrating on the read.
A little bit more hope than determination in that putt.
Just an amazing display. The records continue to fall. Frank, I think the mark of a good golf course design, changing directions. We go from a right to left hole, now at the 12th, to a left to right hole.
Yeah, there's no two holes at Quail Hollow that look the same. And this one slightly downhill, fairway tilts a little bit to the right, and it's a bit of a sleeper. And plus you add in on top of that 450 yards plus. This is a fairway that has to be hit.
And now it's right in his wheelhouse, good position where he can attack the pin.
Yeah, he has all those options now. That ball's sitting up, you can bring it in high, you can bring it in low. The choice is yours.
Another good swing, and it looks like, Frank, another really good shot. Just a beautiful approach shot. Shouldn't be a problem here. He can't believe it. Thought it was in. So they'll tap in. Workmanlike hole. He walks away with a par. Here we are at the par 3, 13th hole. It's 210 yards. What does it take here, Frank?
It's one actually where you'd rather be conservative than aggressive here. And the reason why is this green tends to roll off at the back and the front and the middle there. So just something that pitches more in the central part of the green is really what's required.
Regarded as a very accurate player, that shot says it all. Just continuing to play some really good golf. 8 under par for the championship. Wow, Frank, this is a really good little par 4, isn't it, the 14th?
It is, and this is where one of those strong 3-woods comes in. The last 50 or 60 yards as the ball kicks down and towards the left, and it sounds like an aggressive play, but like a hard 3-wood trying to run it down there is actually not a bad play.
Is it drivable?
It is drivable, but it's whether it's worth the risk.
Frank, that is how it's done.
Yeah, take a gross of those. That is a lesson in itself.
And now a chance for eagle.
Okay.
What an opportunity, a putt for eagle. Always like to get the double figures under par. 10 under already. Now as we arrive at the par 5 15th hole here at Quail Hollow, 577 yards. Frank, I think a player has to be thinking about doing what Rory McIlroy did in 2010.
It's the last of the holes that you can really be aggressive on, Rich. So a good drive down here. I'm well aware of the fact that there's water on the left. This is a good chance to make something happen before you play the green mile.
And that's what McIlroy did. Hit a tracer, then a 5-iron, knocked it in for eagle, shot 62, and won for the first time on the PGA Tour. Okay, the second shot now at this par 5.
We shut the timer off?
This one's going left, Rich.
Not knocking down the flagstick here, but it looks as though it will find the green. And a chance for eagle after that perfectly played shot. Frank, it's one thing to jumpstart your round. This would ignite the round.
Yeah, you don't normally see 2 par 5s back-to-back, so the chances of having consecutive eagles is so rare.
Oh, I thought he had that. I don't know, maybe lifted right there, just sort of peaked. Getting set now over the putt. Continues to amaze. Yet another birdie, and what a day it's been. This is the start of what some say is the toughest finishing stretch on the PGA Tour. It's known as the Green Mile. Frank, what makes it so challenging?
Well, this hole in particular, Rich, the dogleg right, it means it plays every inch of it's just over 500 yards. That bunker you can see down the right, 325 yards to carry that. If you can fly the ball that far, at least you can chew off 2/3 of this hole, and that is well required here. Otherwise, it's a long, long second shot.
Second shot, good look at the green. Well, this one should be safely on deck here. Can't hide the flagstick from that man.
I don't know what they were looking at.
That is a solid par putt. Frank, the 17th here at Quail Hollow. It is all you want.
And a bit more, actually. The only advantage the player has that plays a little bit downhill. But when you look at the lake in front of you, if there's any swirling breeze out there, it just becomes a nightmare trying to choose the right club.
That one inside of 10 feet, really dialed in. These putts keep the round together. Racking them and stacking them. That's 12 under par now for the tournament. Here we are, the 18th hole at Quail Hollow. Simply put, Frank, player needs to hit maybe his best tee shot of the day.
I would agree with you, Rich. If you were to measure this hole from trees on the left to trees on the right, it's actually a really wide fairway or expansive land. But that creek that just meanders its way through the middle of this hole completely changes the nature of this hole. And consequently, you hit the nail on the head. If you don't hit a good tee shot, you will rack up something here. And I have got no idea how big it would be. Oh, nice strike, Rich. Not quite directly in line with the flag.
Just drifting a bit to the right, but he'll settle. So the second of the par 4 goes begging, and now I'll have to rely on the short game.
Yeah, but a short game, as we all know, can redeem a lot of mistakes. See if he does it here.
What's that?
Safely on the dance floor.
Really not much to this. The only issue would be a lack of concentration or focus. So close. So a tough way to close the round, missing a short putt and a bogey here at 18. Bad news is, Frank, that's a bogey, but the good news, still has the lead.
Can't afford another, though.
Frank, you surprised to see that name on top of the leaderboard?
I am surprised to see the name, but not that style of golf leading. It was great performance, especially tee to green. You don't often see people start that quickly.